glad that I still feel like I'm 20, and you know, and that is not just a saying, but it's a testimony of the Word of God. You know, when last week Daniel preached how we have the energy of Christ, and I know that His might is in me, and that feeling is not just a feeling, but it's also my reality. That you know, I still feel young, and I'm just grateful that of all God's blessing in my life, and especially this past year, something that I've experienced and been feeling is the abundance grace of God, and even recently in all the teachings and all the preachings that I receive in this church, and in access through all my leaders. I'm just so grateful that I'm receiving all this knowledge, and God is revealing all this wisdom in my life, because I feel like without it, I wouldn't be the father, the husband that I aspire to be without God's wisdom and without the knowledge that I've received in this church. So I want to say thank you to all my leaders, to Daniel and Dr. Grace for all the preachings and all the teachings, and I'm so grateful for God's grace, and especially recently from what we learned, that His grace is enough. That in the Bible, the Word of God says, God said, my grace is sufficient in my life, and I really experienced that this year, especially with everything that's all the blessing that's happened in my life this year. It's because of God's grace, and I know that it's because of God's grace for my healing, and it's just amazing that that the Word of God says, they that which receive an abundance of grace and the gift of righteousness shall reign in life. And I know that I'm an overcomer, and that this abundance of grace is just multiplied through the knowledge. So I'm so grateful that all this knowledge that I'm receiving, that it's multiplying the grace in my life, especially with everything that I've already experienced with all the blessings this year for me and my family. That thankful that it's multiplied, and that it's continued to empower my life. And I'm grateful for this church and for everyone here. It was my family, my friends, and I'm just full of joy and full of thankfulness when I'm here and when I'm at home, of course. And I thank my wife. She's back there, my beautiful wife, and who's always supporting me and always encouraging me just in everything that I do. And I thank God for her, and for my son, he's just so amazing. He's full of joy. I know you guys see that. He's just full of happiness, and he amazes me each and every day with everything that he does. And thankful, and I want to just give a song offering and glorify God.